chances. We had chances as well, tight game. And yeah, the only problem is with the ball we move too much. You have to be more in the right spots, in the right position, and we didn't do that.
I know that the excitement of the game is not the same when you are not fighting for the big things. Change a little bit the environment of the derby, but I think we are improving in the way we defend. We are more compact. We gave less space in the last games, so we are improving. We create some chances, and then I think we have always the same problem is the lack of goals.
Bruno Fernandes again showing his worth to your team. What would you do without him?
He's doing quite well. Again, everybody has to improve, and Bruno has to step up a little bit more next year because he has a really big quality.
Well, we've still got one game to show you, and without giving anything away, we put that third, so you can only imagine what's still to come. There are some positives for United, aren't there?
Yeah, we scratched around and we managed to find Garnacho as the only shining light. It was a bad game of football, let's be honest. But I think you're starting to see now Amarin's work and the work they've been doing. So the build-up's really good. Garnacho here, he goes a little bit deep in the original part, but what Amarin wants from his 10s is running in between the full-back and the centre-back. And this is 53 seconds in. I think, could he go on his left foot and get a shot off? Ends up getting a foul. And fair play to the referee for getting a yellow card here. But look, he's wide now. He needs to come inside again. But again, he switch the place, what Amarin wants. Nico already gets this wrong. But as he goes to the back post, look, give me the ball, give me the ball. It's so terrible. But if they want to score goals, they need to do better. Look, and again, running in behind, setting things off. Takes a foul here, it's not a problem, but it all comes from him, his willingness to run. And again, look, just no end product. But they're starting to build a nice connection down this left-hand side with himself, Garnacho and Dorgu. Uses the run. Again, now with those runners, it's Xerxes in the middle. Should score. He shoots, in my opinion, hoping to score instead of the intent of going to score. And here you go, look, the running again. Look at this from Dorgu. 60-yard run, no problem. Now, Garnacho can use that run, and this is the little bit for me he needs to get better at. He gets a corner.
And that's my next bit to you then. So what's the next bit? Because you can see the effort and you can see the movement, but they're just not scoring. So that final pass, that shot, what is it? Is it composure? Is it experience? What is it?
It's confidence. It's more work on the training pitch. You can see what they're working on at the moment, building out from the back in that middle third of possession, and obviously the defending. So now it's going into that final step of getting better players, which they want to do, having the confidence in yourself to go and score. But at this moment in time, it's their snatching because you think, I need to score this one because we haven't scored.
It had no intensity, did it? That, in fact, the montage at the top that we showed had much more intensity of past derbies than that.
The build-up was good.
But build-up was good. Bruno Fernandes said on Sky afterwards that one of the reasons he thinks is that VAR takes the intensity out of games like that. Would you agree?
Well, I've played in a few Manchester derbies, and that was part of it. You know, the tackles flying in and the scuffles and people coming together, and sometimes the fans would be up as well. And that's what Manchester derbies are all about, you know, the hell and skelter. But Bruno's got a point, because if you've missed time a tackle, it's a red card, and then you know, the game changes and it's a bad game for a different reason. I mean, Ruben made a good point after the game as well, that neither Man City or Manchester United are fighting for anything as such. You know, City are trying to get back in the Champions League, but not for the title. And Man United are obviously in the bottom half of the league, but it takes nothing away from the call. I think Troy's right in a sense. I think you can see with Man United, they're doing some good things to that final third, but they're so blunt in front of goal.
But it's still a derby. It's still English football. Like, you do have to... Sometimes
can you see Bruno Fernandes' point?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think I've said it on numerous occasions. I think VAR is killing the game. I think we're moving into a space now where it's flag football. You can't touch anybody. The reason our product was so good, because there were big tackles, because there was derbies, and the intensity that brings, then the best players are able to deal with the physicality and then show their quality on top. And we've just got to be careful that we don't fall into this product where that's the product now, because no one enjoyed watching that, and it took us 4.5 hours just to get a 2-minute clip. That's how bad it was.
Whoa. Get ready for this, then. Chelsea have won 3 of...
Yeah, I think, again, we create some chances. The game was completely different from Nottingham, of course, against a different opponent, but we had the same lack of goal. We create situations. Sometimes we did it well, and Ederson was there. So it's really important to score goals to win football matches.
Hi, Ruben. You didn't want to come in midway through the season. Are we now, because you did come in obviously midway through the season, are we now seeing the benefits of you working these players for longer? Do you think there'll be a benefit for next season because of that, even if not ideal in the moment?
In the moment, it's still really hard every day. But of course, you can imagine that next season is going to be so much different. That's why I'm always saying that I'm in the rush. So because we are suffering a lot, everybody here is suffering a lot with all these changes, and we have to show something in the next year. So right away. If not, I have the feeling that all this that is happening in this moment, we are not taking advantage. So I think that is important thing. In the good days, you think like that. It was important to come middle of the season, to work with the players, to improve the players as soon as possible, to start the next season with the better idea what we want. So and today was that day that we play well. Of course, you can feel it in the game is not there in the top level, the intensity, but you can also understand the context of both teams in this moment.
Yeah, tight.
Hi Ruben, the last two home games now in the league against Arsenal and Manchester City, it's felt like your team's improved as the game has gone on, really. Does that show that maybe you're a better team in the league table is showing this year for all that's gone wrong? And does it help with that belief that maybe when you get things right, you can compete with these teams, and the players are kind of learning that during the game almost, and by the second half they're kind of like, yeah, we can do this?
Sometimes every game has his story. We need to sometimes to give time to the team to understand the game and then to face the game. If you remember the first games at home, we suffered a goal in the first 10 minutes, and that can change the momentum, can change the way we face the game. The strategy is we have to forget the strategy because we are 1-0 down in the first minutes. I think these players proved. Not just this season, but in the seasons before, then when they are like this, really focused, they can win any game.
Laurie.
Hi, Ruben. Casemiro wasn't in your team for a period before, but now he seems to be, a pretty major feature of it. What does that show for next season? Obviously, he's got 1 year left on his contract. He said he wants to save it on the big wages. How has he come back into your thinking?
We need the important thing is that Casemiro he won everything with Real Madrid. He wasn't playing. Because I understood in the moment that he was not the best option to the way we want to play, but he continued to work. So I look at my players in the same way. If you work, if you improve what we ask of them, they have the opportunity. If they play well, they continue to play. So that was the situation of Casemiro. Was the credit is all the player. So he's our player and continue to be our player.
Dave.
Gary Neville was quite critical, I think, in his analysis after the game, saying that both sets of players looked too happy with the point, that there wasn't enough passion, they should be more disappointed in not winning. He called it a love it between both sides. Can you understand that perspective, that derby games should have more passion and more kind of blood and thunder, he said?
I understand everything. I understand that Gary Neville is critical about everything, so I understand that part. And then I understand that we are not fighting. We are in the moment that we are doing the worst season in history. Manchester City won everything in the past. This season is struggling. So we are not in the best moments to give the best spectacle to every fans. And then when we are not fighting for the big things, of course it's different. But you have to look at the context of the game, and I understand the critical aspect of the players that played in this game in a different way, because they were fighting every time for the titles. So it's a different context.
Last question, Rob.
Hi Ruben. I know that you said before that you don't want to be a team that plays on in transition to a low block. You feel the players are more comfortable playing in that way right now. Pep has been said that for the last 9 years he was here that United have always been a transitional team, always played the best way when they're playing like that. does that show how tough it is going to be for you to turn it around? You're not just sort of turning around an idea from 1 or 2 seasons. You're talking about sort of a decade of playing like that, and you're trying to turn it around and play more in the front foot.
That I can say that we want to be competitive in the short space of time. But to do that, to be really dominant against any opponent, is going to take a lot of time. That I can say. So we have to use different weapons of playing a different style when we face different opponents. And in that way of playing, City is maybe the best team in the world, and they are doing, like you said, for a while. But the important thing is that if you compare this game against the Arsenal, we had some moments that we did the same a little bit to City, and against Arsenal we didn't do. Was clearly transitions. Today was a little bit different. So it's we are improving, but to play in this way that they play for many years is going to take a long time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Spots, and we lost it today. We were not in the right position to hurt them more than we hurt them. So, but it's fine. We take the point and move forward.
David, I got tactically the way you are playing your team. Is this the way moving forward until Erling comes back?
No.
You are thinking about changing. Was this a production of?
No, it depends. Depends on how they play. I played with wingers last game. I played with a lot of midfielders players against Bournemouth. Today also we played with 2 strikers, a little bit more wider than central. So it depends when I wake up in the morning.
Sam?
You're very happy last week at Bournemouth after that performance and result. Are you still feeling the confidence of that run?
Yeah. And we lost it. We tried to, yesterday with training, we tried to practice one concept that to try to hurt them. So we played many times in many years. Teams defend 5-4-1, lose the ball and run. So we knew that they make high pressing, and after that they are able to defend so deep and make the transition. We have been since I arrived here 9 years ago. Ruben want to try to impose from Onana from all the process, but I think we defend really well. At home, our home game when we lost 1-2 was completely different. They make better process that they had done it today, but it was more for the fact, you had to play in one tempo and be in the position and have to accelerate the game. And we could not accelerate it because we were not in the right position. So, and that's why today we missed a little bit our tempo, create more chances. Of course, Phil had one clear, 2 or 3 shoots from Kevin, one from Omar, and of course they had the chances, especially in transition. But I think it's fair enough. So 1 point and move forward.
Just ask as well, Phil had a few chants aimed at him over the course of the game.
Sorry?
Phil had a few chants aimed at him over the course of the game. Obviously, Derby's are always a bit violent, but they maybe cross the line.
What the chance? To him? Lack of class. But it's not United, it's the people, The people is... We are so exposed. The people who's now in the screen, in the world football, managers, owners, and football players especially, is honestly, I don't know, understanding the mind of the people, be involved, the man from Phil, be involved in that. So it's lack of category, class, and they should be ashamed. But it's what it is. So it's happening everywhere, I would say, not just in UK, in everywhere.
How concerned are you about Champions League qualification?
Nothing. Right now, nothing. 8 games, Crystal Palace, we go for it.
You're still very confident that you...
I prefer to have 10 more points or 12 more points. In the previous season, there were 5, 6 or 7 games left, we were already qualified. But it's what it is. So it's Old Trafford. Always it's difficult for the derby, so we fought and we were there and the players gave everything. It just the lecture a little bit that we should attack a little bit more fluidity. We miss it because the people say, we have to move more. No, we have to move less. Move less.
Can I just ask, are you seeing enough of City this season to make you think that you can be back to what you were next season?
Next season I'm not concerned right now, no 1 second. So I'm just concerned about recover Crystal Palace, and after the games we have in Everton and Aston Villa, FA Cup semi-finals, all the games ahead of us to win. That is going to try to do.
Fred, at the back.
Do you think you needed more offensive aggression from Mateus on the right, especially?
He can become a good right back for the physicality. I think he's not a player to play in the middle because he's not enough clever in the composer. Having incredible skills, and he's learning a lot. You know, the fullbacks always have a big mistake is when the cross for the far post where you are, always they are sleeping. And he defends really well at 2 or 3 crosses like Bruno put in the far post with Dorgu, and his attention have something, the physicality do it. But yeah, he can play in that position. He helps us a lot. So when you start in the season and you tell me decisive if you're going to play Mateus or right back and Nico left back, you would tell me what I'm talking about. So, but this is what it is, and Mano Kanji is coming back. Of course, you have 2 young central defenders, but the last 3 games, the back 4 today again, they were excellent. So Ruben was incredible, Josko as well. Nico, except the last 20 minutes, I was tired because he's a young and, play every 3 days also, or 4 days always is new for him. But he played really, really good, and we built from that.
James?
Obviously, it's been a difficult season for the team and individuals for lots of different reasons. Just back on the Villa guys, he's had such an impact on this fixture for several seasons. Obviously, last year, obviously, I think. Just today, he looks like a player and has for a lot of time this season. It looks like he's carrying it away. It looks like he's lacking a lot of confidence.
No, I'm not agreeing. Listen, when the team is not playing in the level, the standard we had, looks like, and everyone looks like, not what we were. I feel there's no doubt. I see every training session, the passion they put, his smiling, his face. This is what I want. He's smiling his face and playing like to it. Of course, the impact has not been, but not from field. If you see the numbers in the last 4, 5, 6 years, the many players are here in terms of goal assists. This season we dropped incredible in all of them. It's not one. One will be easy. It's all of them, and that's why we were struggling, to create or win games and so on. But the quality is there, and sometimes. In a long career, always you have seasons that you are not, Maybe in a season, right the peak in terms of the best player of the Premier League. He won the Premier League in the last games. Last game against, you remember, West Ham. Won the game with 2 goals, and his impact was incredible. And he will be back. And you know how fouled, and at the end had the chances. Have to shoot in the first half. These chances that normally feel tack. You make when the ball is in the net. And the control was not perfect, or the defender was quick. It happened. So, but now it's not about the judge here. That okay, we are where we are that season. We knew it, and okay, FA Cup semi-finals, 8 games left, and everyone's going to give everything. Seeing, I'm learning for the guys who played every single game, the guys who come from the bench, how impact is in the game, and this kind of stuff for the future decisions. It is going to do.